Morning, VC. All right, this is going to be quite the video. This is my end of year video I like to do where I show the best used finds that I had this year. I thought I would pull a nice even number of 69, a number everybody can get behind. And that's what we got here, 69 records. It's a lot. I added about 475 to the collection this year. So this is just kind of a sampling of the used goodness to come into the collection here. We are literally in the middle of tornadic activity here in Charlotte. I think one just passed over the house. The trees were sideways into the ground. I'm still standing, and so I'm gonna show fucking records. God damn it, we have tornado watch until 1 p.m. today. I don't know what time it is. It's 9 something in the morning or 10 something in the morning right now. So let's get into these records. There is a shit ton. And a lot of these were found in North Carolina, a good bit. So that's really, really great. I did not resort to Discogs too many times this year. Really hardly at all. Mainly because I don't like not being able to see the records. I know you can email and ask for pictures. That's a fucking pain in the ass. First record, this came from Earth River Records in Asheville, North Carolina. What I consider to be like the noble records of Ash Vegas. And it's a record store that was started by a gentleman who inherited the collection from a family member who was running the store prior, way back in the day. And so he's still sitting on things that were in the shop then. So this was a sealed original of Joachim Kuhn, Paris is Wonderful, on the big label, the BYG label from France. And of course I've opened this and played this. This is an intense one as far as free jazz is concerned, and you're gonna have a lot of free jazz in this video, of course. There's other things too, but that was, again, another focus this year. Yeah, some great players. Jean-Francois Jenny Clark on bass. And I believe Mr. Thelot, yeah, Jacques Thelot is on drums on this. Great record. Very happy to find it here in North Carolina. So that's the first of the finds. And I did a video back maybe in August, kind of a mid-year, mid to later year wrap up. So a lot of these records are the same. I've added a few more that I didn't show in that video. This next one is one of my favorites of the year as far as the music is concerned. This is the Reichel Nispel Duo, 6 pieces for 2 guitars, Erdmanchen, on FMP. This came from Lars in Sweden. And yeah, if you like Helden, you will like this. It's hard to classify this as jazz, but it's just an incredible playing. Very unique. Really love this one. Yeah, that's a favorite of the year, top record, and it wasn't too expensive at all. Also in that package early in the year that came from Sweden was John Shakai, Clinch. This is on the Olufsen Records label, and I'm not sure where that label's out of, maybe Sweden or Denmark, I'm not sure. One or the other, is John Shakai lived over there. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Some players I don't know. Pierre Oliver Jorgens on drums and percussion. Peter Friesen Nielsen on electric bass. Christer Ergens Moller on keyboards and vocal. Yeah, John Shakai, Clinch. I've never seen it since. I love John Shakai on saxophone. This is one that came from Noble Records and Dylan, and I just took a chance on it. It was just in the used section. Variations, Nador on the EMI Path label. Original with the tip on. Some psychedelic stuff here. Really fucking good. Yeah, Path Marconi in Paris, so French press. He's gotten another copy since. I don't know what he did with it, if it's still at the shop or whatever, but this was a good price. So I grabbed that. Not something you see all the time, but Dylan's got 2 copies this year. This one, I can't remember where this one, I think probably I got this one from eBay. The Mississippi Blues, 1927 to 1940. 16 rare sides. So great blues comp on the Origin Jazz Library out of Berkeley, California. Booker White, Willie Brown, Kid Bailey, Robert Wilkins, Sunhouse, Mississippi John Hurt. Skip James is on this. Yeah, fantastic blues comp. Outstanding. That kind of spurred me into a blues run in the 78 world. I'm not showing my rare 78s in this video. I'm going to be doing a video next year, 78 centric. It's going to be another focus next year. My setup will finally be complete. I've got some furniture that's got to get out of this house to make room for my setup, and it'll be pretty much done and going, so I can focus on picking up some more 78s right now. Without the setup, I'm not seeking them out like I was earlier. Of course, I haven't seen anything crazy popping up. There was a big run of stuff in the early mid-year, and then it kind of dried up. Like, oh God, what's his name out west? He's only really been selling like weird 50s LPs, so he hasn't been doing as much 78s. So, next, Iggy Pop, The Idiot, a 1977, I think this is an original German pressing on RCA. This came from Permanent Records in Lance, out there in California. A great one from Iggy Pop. This was one that I had been hoping to find, and this is a mint copy. They probably brought it back from one of their trips to Germany. So I was very happy to get that mint copy. This was from Carolina Soul here in North Carolina. One of the heavier pieces that I acquired this year, early in the year, probably in January. Sakatsu Koyo Linkai, a Japanese original of this. It is missing the obi. It has a nice big black obi, but nonetheless, this is an incredible record. Yeah, a lot of Japanese players here with Ahmed Abdullah on trumpet, William Parker bass. I really dig this. Recorded at Studio WE, August 11th, 1975. A couple long pieces, and then it ends with a short jam. What label is this? I can't remember what label. Got to try to move through these quickly here. First convention of the year. They're quarterly here in Charlotte. The Greg Neal shows. I got 3 or 4 here from that first show. It was a great show. This one's the steal. This was $8, and I've seen Bob Shop try to get $200 for this and up. Frank Lowe and Eugene Chadbourne, Don't Punk Out, on the QED label from 1979. A fairly rare record. It can be had for cheaper on Discogs, I assume, maybe $60 or so. But yeah, this is fantastic. Eugene Chadbourne's not for everybody. It can get really, really bonkers and out there with the guitar. But yeah, with Frank Lowe on tenor, this is a heck of a duo. Happy to find that. Very, very cheap. I guess the guy knew Eugene Chadbourne and had a bunch of his records. I should have bought them all, and I didn't. So the next time I finally get back to one of the Greg Neal shows, it's been since probably mid-year. It's been health-wise and conflicts with my schedule. Been hoping to get up with Art, the NC Vinyl Picker, but it just hasn't worked out. So hopefully we'll get to the first one here in Charlotte early in the year again. Always find good stuff at that show. It's a small show, but there's good stuff. There's good vendors. There's a guy from Tennessee and then Mike from South Carolina. They always have good stuff. Speaking of, this is the guy from Tennessee that's there. He had this I think for 50, and he marked everything down to 40 in a package deal. Never mind the Bollocks, here's the Sex Pistols, an original US promo mint, unplayed. Gorgeous, gorgeous copy. We'll show you the label on this with the original inner. I'm very stoked to find this. I've been holding out for a good copy, and here it was. You know, a one and done pretty much, and iconic. Maybe the best one and done band of all time. You know, UK punk origins there. He had this as well, and this was an upgrade for me. I sold my reissue, I think, to Dylan, but this is Nothing Is from Sun Ra. It's an original on that label on ESP disc. So this was a big ad. And this one's out there with the Sun Ra stuff, not for everyone. Happy to add that at that convention. And then I'm pretty sure I got this one from Mike there. Space Ritual from Hawkwind. I'm not going to open this thing up. It does have all the bells and whistles. Probably my favorite Hawkwind. It's up there. This one's incredible on United Artists. So original Hawkwinds are getting harder to find in good shape. Found this used, I think, for $8 in the bins at Repo. Always find great used cheap at Repo. Original of Betty Davis on the Just Sunshine Records label. This is dope as fuck LP. Very happy to have found this. The only record I have by her, I just don't see her records around here that much as far as originals go. I'll show you this label. Really nice condition on this. On the record, the jacket's a little bit rough, which maybe is why it was so cheap, but these go for a little bit of money these days, these Betty Davis records. So for $8, seems to be a price they like to put on used over there lately. We grab that. This is one from Greenville, South Carolina, that I picked up. Pharmacy Records, and their owner, he's such a great guy, and you can call him up and he'll ship records if you see something on their Instagram. And I saw this on his wall. I mean, this was like, I think he gave this to me for 20 or 30 bucks. Hadley Kalaman, Iapetus, original on the mainstream, and it's a promo. Louis Gasca's on here, really good. I think he plays the trumpet. Yeah, he's on trumpet, really good. Here's a mainstream promo. Not something you run across all the time. These are getting harder to find. And I had just found the other Kalaman record. I've been looking for him for years. And so it was like really good timing that I found this one too. From Pharmacy Records, wine vendor's favorite shop down there. This, another one from Repo. This one I got off the wall. Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast. Fantastic cover art. This is Pink Floyd Weirdness bootleg, an iconic one in pristine shape. Was very happy to find this. It's a really cool record. Two long sides of, yeah, it's wild. Really cool. This one, I don't recall where I got this one, but I have some of the other records, so I was happy to add this one. Revenge of the Underdog from Singers and Players. This is a group that Dom got me into on U Sound. He spoke highly of that label, showed some records early last year, or maybe this year, and yeah, I got into it. Some dope stuff. I mean, Crucial Tony's on here on bass, and guitar. Yeah, Prince Farai on vocals, Bim Sherman. This is just some dope stuff. Reggae and dub. Produced by Adrian Sherwood, 1992. This is an OG of this. We'll show you the label. Yeah, the custom labels, and this is in beautiful shape. I wish I could remember where I found this one. This one was not local. Probably Discogs on this one. Maybe I found that in DC like the other one. This was also from Repo here. Early in the year, I got into picking up some classical records. So I made probably 3 runs to Repo and wiped them out of what I thought was good. Out of the classical section where everything's $1 to $3, the box sets are $5. They don't really ever get above that. This was $3. Gianno Starker on the Mercury label, the Living Presence version, an original. This goes for a bit of money, and I got it for $3. Gorgeous music, fantastic cello playing on that. This one, I have a guy local here in Charlotte that deals in Jamaican records. He gets shipments from Jamaica all the time. This was a very rare record, and I got it for like 40 some bucks. It goes for quite a lot more. It's not in the best of shape, but I couldn't pass on it. Jackie Matu and the Soul Vendors, Evening Time, an incredible record. A rare one in the world of reggae. So, and one of the first from Jackie Matu, who I really dig on the keys. Yeah, my friend Jeff Love got me into that guy, Jackie Matu. This one, another one from Permanent in Los Angeles off their Instagram. A big addition to the Horace Tapscott collection, Songs of the Unsung on Interplay Records, original. Solo piano, gorgeous. Great stuff from Horace Tapscott. Great LA player, orchestrator. Keeping going here. When I got into finding some, whenever I get into a different genre, I go to Repo. So I hit the back wall of the country music. This is probably the best one I had pulled this year out of their country section. Sing Along with Hank Williams and the original Drifting Cowboys. This is on Look Records. This is badass. Great stuff. A lot of Tears in Your Beers songs. John had that stupid tag, so this was in that tag. Your Cheating Heart, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, songs like that. This is a great country record. Hard to find. I'll show you the label. This was cheap. This is under $10, just like most everything at Repo. And yeah, I was happy to get this. It's in great shape. There's your Look Records label. I actually found a Hank Williams 78 at Repo this year too. I was happy to find. Going to Lunchbox here in Charlotte. This is one that came off the wall. It was a perfect price and in great shape. This is Down on the Upside from Soundgarden, one of my favorites from them. Great songs on this. Pretty News, Blow Up the Outside World, Burden in My Hand. I love the last song, Boot Camp. This is one of the best sounding records I've ever heard as far as vinyl, because it's a double LP. They didn't compress it all onto one record. Yeah, so much clarity, depth. What a great pressing this was from A&M. They couldn't have done it any better, and a lot of 90s vinyl is lacking in sound quality. This one is not. This is highly recommended, worth every bit of the $100 that it usually goes for or more. Another one from Lunchbox. This was just sitting in the used jazz cheap, and a rare record. I've only ever seen it once in a VC video. Someone was flipping through some records in a shop in Oakland, and so I immediately grabbed this. Ramon Morris, Sweet Sister Funk on Groove Merchant. This is it's got a hole punch in it for a promo. This is dope. Mickey Roker's on drums, underrated drummer, just such a badass. Cecil Bridgewater trumpet, also just a killer. There's some electric piano on this from Mr. Daly. This gets funky and dope. Great playing from Ramon Morris. Not a lot of stuff I have with him, and this is a great one. Going to Noble Records here in Matthews, North Carolina, and Dylan. This was a big one he had on the wall for a few weeks, and I was able to finally get it, Moondog 2, and it's a promo with the timing strip, on Columbia. Very hard to find this record, even though it was on a major label. So happy to add the second Moondog. I got the first Moondog from Dylan also off his wall. This is up there, top 2 or 3 records I got this year. This came from Mats Gustafsson in Austria. Another one of these, this is probably the 6th or 7th I've gotten of these records that are done by A.R. Pank from Germany, the great pianist, drummer, artist. This is Gene Lee, Don't Freeze Yourself to Death Over There in Those Mountains. This is a gorgeous LP, an all-time favorite now. Lot of Sun Ra vibes here, because A.R. Pank's playing keyboards here in a Sun Ra style. Mr. Wolney's on bass, Dennis Charles on drums, C Sharp, who I'm not familiar with, on alto. The vocals are incredibly great from Miss Lee here. Thank June Tyson and Sun Ra. This is fantastic. Privately pressed. I have a bunch of these records. They're really great. You have to get them from overseas. They're never in the States, hardly ever. There's your labels. Always have the lion on the labels. These are really good sounding records too. Very well pressed. And the artwork is incredible. That's definitely a top find for this year. Next, we go back to Carolina Soul here in Durham. This was a big one. Billy Bang's Survival Ensemble, New York College. This is on the Anima Records label out of New York. 1978. Billy Bang, I got into him and Michael White and some of the other violin players with the heavier jazz stuff this year. It took me a while to warm up to it. Getting into the classical stuff has brought me here. And of course, Sherv has always raved about Billy Bang along with Alex and others. And yeah, it is really great. William Parker's on bass. Bilal Abdur Rahman on tenor and soprano is really, really good on this. Yeah, that's highly recommended if you can find that. This is one I went up to Cat's Cradle to see Unwound, and it was a top show from the year. I've posted footage in my videos of that gig. And at the merch table, they had 2 records by this band, Hungry Ghost, which is the drummer from Unwound's other project. And they were normal price, like $15, $20 or something. And I didn't get them. I didn't realize how rare they are, like extremely rare. And I ended up finding 1 copy on the internet of this record, and I had to get it from Germany. So this was a Discogs purchase, but it was a sealed original. The Hungry Ghost. I think the self-titled record, and there's the drummer from Unwound. This is really, really good. Pacific Northwest, post-rock, or post-punk. I don't know what to call it. Just fantastic. Sarah Lund on drums. She's such a great drummer. The Andrew Price on guitar and vocals is great on this. Love this cover, and it was super, super cheap. I didn't pay hardly anything for this, and it goes for a lot, from what I'm seeing. This is one I traded for at Lunchbox. I took in a bunch of rare soul and funk and some CDs, some Blue Note CDs, and traded for this on the wall, the Velvet Underground Loaded. This is an OG, first pressing. Love the song Rock and Roll. Actually, I dig this whole record. It's fantastic. Lou Reed's hit or miss for me, but I dig this one. there's a story behind this one that John told me that I forget, but I don't know. I guess the whole band wasn't involved. I don't know what the deal is. I love this record. This is really good. On Cotillion. So I traded for that. Speaking of John, we went on a dig in South Carolina, met up with Winebender, and I found this record. This was probably the best record I found that day at Pharmacy. And he's a metal and punk shop, but he has jazz, and good jazz. He had Michael White Numa, speaking of violin in my jazz. And yeah, Edwin Kelly, Ray Drummond's on this, among others, on Impulse from 1972. Back to Noble Records here in, up the road. Another dig with John, and I think this is the dig with Bill, when Bill came to town in June or July. I think he comes every June. John Fahey, The Transfiguration of Blind Joe Death on Riverboat Enterprises. This is an original copy, mint, with the booklet, all the bells and whistles. I don't like all the John Fahey stuff, but this one's fantastic. Happy to find it. Great Americana. Primitive guitar, whatever the words are, Dom can tell you. This is one I actually sought out on the internet. So this one came from Discogs. Richard Landry solos on Chatham Square, an original. This is an artist that Alex got me into through one of his videos, and I really dig everything from this guy. Great saxophones. There's a ton of sax on this because Alan Brofman's also on this. It's got a Library of Congress number, which is very interesting. It's a double LP recorded live in 1972 at Leo Castelli Gallery in New York City. Fantastic stuff on this. Great improvised jazz. Here's one from All Day Records in Carborough. I think probably when I picked this up when I went to see Kim Gordon, which was badass, and her new record is my album of the year. This came off the wall, Catherine Ribeiro and Alps on the Philips label, A Mes Débuts. So their first record, French original. This was maybe $40 or so. I can't remember. Maybe it was 50. It was a great price. So I grabbed it. I'll show you the Philips label, one of my favorite labels. A lot of Brazilian records were on Philips European label, European records on this label. This is the black Philips label. These sound fantastic. Love the guitars in this band. Her vocals, it can get psyche, little proggy, but not too proggy. That's a great one. I need some other records from this group. I have 2 or 3 others, but need some more. This is one that came from Rob the Waxed. Much appreciated. He sent me some great records this year. I think I've won a couple in auctions, but he's always good about putting stuff in my pile. This is John Carter and Bobby Bradford Quartet, Flight for 4 on Flying Dutchman. He had gotten an original promo, so he passed his other original my way. I'd been looking for this for years. John Carter, fantastic LA free jazz player, one of the first in LA, on the clarinet. Can get really good avant free on the clarinet. Bobby Bradford, fantastic trumpet player. And the guys, Sherv and Alex, just saw, was it Bobby Bradford, I think, the other day. Well, not the other day, but this year. Great one. And then I think this is the last one. All these, this is kind of a rehash. What I've just shown is kind of a rehash of the front end of the year mostly, and from that other video. So it's kind of, you're kind of seeing the same video, but the rest are from the back end of the year. This came off the wall at Repo, and was a good price. Blow Up, from Herbie Hancock, the soundtrack. This is really good. I don't know the musicians on this other than Herbie. And the bass playing's great on this. Herbie's got playing some organ on this. The saxophone playing is outstanding on the jazz stuff. There's some rock stuff on this too, that I think opens each side. I forget which band it was. Maybe the Yardbirds, or something. I can't remember. Anyway, this is really good. That's the original first press of that. So yeah, the next batch of records are from the back half of the year. Again, Carolina Soul. This was a big one. Han Benink. This is a solo record from Han Benink on FMP from 1979. I think it's Solo East, Solo West, or something like that, or West East. I forget how it's listed. Great cover artwork from Han Benink. Amazing free jazz drummer, and happy to add that one. And then I think from the same time from Carolina Soul, I got John Stevens' Spontaneous Music Ensemble on Polydor. This is one that Michael out in San Francisco had showed, that he found at a convention there that he met Mazzy at, and others. Yeah, Johnny Diani's on this, Trevor Watts, Derek Bailey, Kenny Wheeler. This is a super group. Yeah, John Stevens, fantastic on percussion on this. Really good record. Hard to find. And that was a good price. Going back to Greenville, Cabin Floor Records is my favorite down there, just because he has a lot of the stuff I'm into. A lot of free jazz and the like, and I was able to get this. He had posted this on Instagram, and I ended up calling the man down there, and he shipped it my way. Billy Bang Sextet featuring Frank Lowe, Sweet Space, also on the Anima Productions label, 1979. Some more great Billy Bang. This one I cannot recall where I got this one. Cerrone Live, 1981 on Sirius Music. This might have been a Discogs, but it's Cerrone Live on bass. It's a trio with Dennis Charles and Claude Lawrence. Dennis Charles on drums and Claude Lawrence on alto sax. This is a killer trio. Great copy of this. This one's not too expensive. Custom labels. And this is a mint copy. Love Cerrone on bass. He's such a badass. This one definitely and the cover art's great on this too. If you can find this one, definitely pick it up. It's gonna be a long video. There's a lot of dang records in this one. This could go an hour plus. Like I said, there's like 69 records. This one was one that Dom procured for me from Autrefois, or however you say that in French, from Montreal. Togashi's Guild for Human Music Essence, with the Obi on the Denon label. Fantastic drummer from Japan. Satoshi Sato is on this. Who else is on this? Hold on. Yeah, Takashi's on percussion. Shigeo Suzuki on flutes, soprano sax, alto sax. Nakagawa on flutes and soprano and alto sax. Masahiko Sato on piano. Kiko Mitarakawa on cello. There's a marimba player. Other percussionists. Incredible group, this Guild for Human Music. Trying to get more of these records. I know Tice is a big fan. Found a lot of those records in Japan on his trip there. This was a big one from Carolina Soul in Durham. This was from the Kiko Jones collection, Alvin Jones's wife. So this is Johnny Diani with Freud Gerstad and John Stevens. Speaking of John Stevens, forwards and backwards on the Impetus Records label, a very rare record. This is a fantastic free jazz record, and it's inscribed to Kiko and Alvin with love from John on the back. Fantastic to get that. And then they also were selling off a collection of a former VC member who passed from cancer out of Atlanta. And I was able to get one of the records, Archie Shepp, Fire Music, a mono original promo. I've been holding out to get a copy of this for years. I passed on the reissues, and so I'm happy to have this copy. There's your white label Impulse promo. And I mean, it's amply named, this one, Fire Music, because it is fire from Archie Shepp. Ted Kerson's on trumpet on this. Marion Brown on alto. What a great group on this record. The next one, another Permanent Records score off Instagram. This is the Dig a Rhythm Band. Love this cover, and I love the tabla, and there's a lot of tablas in this. And one of the members of this band we just lost. I'm trying to remember who it was. Maybe Zakir Hussain passed recently. But Mickey Hart's on this. There's a Dead connection here. Fantastic record on United Artists. A really cool cover. Here's one from Noble. Crass, The Feeding of the 5,000, The Second Sitting. I'm not going to open this up. It's got all the bells and whistles on this. This is not a first, but a first year copy of this. Great Anokar Punk from the UK. That was a great find. This one came from Premium Sound here in Luke, here in Charlotte. Just sitting in the new arrivals bin. I've been looking for these records. This is on Drag City, an original of Papa M live from a shark cage. And this is one that Alex had played on a stream. And I'm a big fan of Slint. And so any of these Slint related records I'm all about. Dom, I know Dom's a big fan of this gentleman on guitar. So yeah, awesome to get that. That's David Pajo. This one, Repo, great deal. Jeff Clayton from the band Anti-Scene sold a lot of his personal collection into Repo, and I've been picking it up piece by piece. The Specials, the Ghost Town 12-inch. This is some dope stuff from the UK on Chrysalis, the two-tone label, or the two-tone records. This is so dope. There were a couple big collections that Dylan got throughout the year at Noble. He got a huge collection of screamo and heavy stuff, more recent kind of stuff. I know that Scott at Lunchbox was kind of upset about it, that Dylan got those records, but he had a big drop. Vinyl Reckoning, if you know that channel, they came down for that drop. Matt and Stacy, it was cool to meet them. They got a lot of they brought good trade and got a lot of records that day. I got some good records I got a couple records that day, but I went back later, and this had survived. It was still on the wall weeks later. The Every Time I Die box set. And yeah, it's got the first 3 records, Last Night in Town, Hot Damn, and Gutter Phenomenon. I've always wanted Gutter Phenomenon on vinyl. And I used to have this and I sold it on eBay years and years ago, because I think I paid probably 25 bucks for it at the original Lunchbox location. I sold it probably for 150 or something. So I bought it back. Love this band. It was one of the hardest working bands of all time. They've now split, and there's now 3 bands have formed from this. There's a new one that Andy Williams is in now, that did the end of year Buffalo show, the Christmas show. Really good band. I wish I could think of the name. Better Lovers, one of the other guitar player is in that band, and then there's Something Eyes, which the singers is in. That band ain't that good, but yeah, Every Time I Die's first 3 records box set. Back to premium sound, I got a couple rare pieces from Luke. I went and saw this band in concert, and it had been years since I seen them, and it was one of the best shows I saw all year. They were tight, didn't miss a note, killed it. I get free tickets at work, box seats at the big amphitheater here, and I went and saw Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction. This is an original South Korean pressing. It was the only vinyl pressing, I guess, at that time. So yeah, it's very interesting on EMI or something. South Korean writing. So this is hard to find. I got it. He gave me a good price on this. Yeah, so what, 1992 Capitol EMI. Symphony of Destruction on this, of course. And then he also had this. This is a minty copy of the Link Ray album with the cutout cover on Polydor. This is classic stuff, and I got a good price on that too. Don't want to leave out the record store here in town, Hardy Boys, that's over in Camp North End. I mean, you can find some things there for good prices every now and again. Some of their new prices are extremely high, and their used aren't the best either on some of the rare stuff, but in the bins, I do really well. And they got a bunch of African originals in, and they had William Onyeber, Anything You Sow, an OG for, I don't know, I don't think I paid over 30 for this. On the Will Films label, I think from Nigeria. One of the best covers of all time, and this is just a great, great record. A lot of great keyboards on this from William Onyeber. I have another original I got from Dylan in a little bit worse for wear condition, so I was happy to upgrade it. Probably another one from Carolina Soul, Jerome Cooper, Root Assumptions. Again, the Anima Productions label, a bunch on that label I've acquired this year. This is a one-man band effort here. You can see he's kind of got this around it. It's kind of like a vibraphone deal around his neck, and he's playing percussion and drums all at the same time. African bolophone, bass drums, sock cymbals. I think that's the bolophone, is what that is. This is an incredible record. Yeah, Root Assumptions from Jerome Cooper. Another one from Permanent. The Jesus Lizard Head, an original copy of this on Touch and Go. Really into this band. I need to get their new record that came out this year. Great guitars. This is one that Alex Diamond Marimba was able to procure for me from a local shop there in California where he is. I guess from the personal collection of the owner. And this completes my Held collection, so this was a big one. And I love this record, Held in Third. It's always rock and roll. And it's a double gatefold. Incredible stuff from Richard Pinhas on this. Who's on this with him? What is this on? Disjuncta? Yeah, on Disjuncta. Out of France. Thick pieces of vinyl. This sounds incredible. I love this. I love Helden. Another group that Alex got me into through the vinyl community videos. He did a big Helden feature years and years ago. It's probably George Grunblatt. Yeah, Grunblatt's on this with Pinhouse. Great combination. Here's one. I didn't get much from Dusty Groove this year, but this is one I did get from them because they marked it way down. That's from Styxland with Love, Drums and Folklore from George Grunts on the German labels Saba. This is an interesting record. A lot of drummers, including Daniel Humer from Switzerland. So there's a lot of showing off on the drums on this. But Nathan Davis is on this, on the saxophone. So that was a big selling point for me. And one you don't see every day. And so a gatefold with a lot of information. I'll show you the label. I really dig this Saba label. German pressing. So yeah, one from Dusty Groove in Chicago. Great place to get good prices on new records too, and especially with jazz. They get good collections in there from time to time. This was an upgrade. I had an original copy of this. I've since sold it. This is my upgrade. The record's VG++. Rashida Lee and Frank Lowe duo exchange on the Survival label. Rashida Lee's label. There's no better jazz record ever made. This is the pinnacle right here. Perfection. Frank on tenor, Japanese flute and percussion. Rashida Lee on drums and percussion. Yeah, I've talked about this record ad nauseum. Back to Noble Records on his anniversary sale. So it's always a huge drop. And I'll show just 3 great ones I got from that. The MC5, Kick Out the Jams. The Uncensored, this was on the wall. I couldn't pass on it. It was a really good price. Great copy of this. There's a lot of different uncensored original year pressings. This is one of them. It's mint. This was the big one. The Ngozi Family, Danger 45,000 volts, Volume 2. Very rare. Zamrock record. There's your the Sound Project. What label is it? On Sound Project, or I'm trying to remember what label this is, or is it Chris Editions? I think it's Sound Project. But anyway, yeah, Ngozi Family. This is some great guitars on this. Absolutely fantastic. Paul Ngozi. And then this great punk record, Fear, More Beer. Great band out of LA. Just badass. The singer was fucking hardcore. Leaving, he would fuck with the crowd. He did not give a shit. Great album. This one actually, I don't know if this one should be in this video, but I'm including it. I think I bought it in 2023, but it didn't arrive till 2024 because it came from Japan. And that is Kaoru Abe. And this is the duo record, Duo 75, with Mataharu Yoshizawa on bass and cello. And Abe's playing alto. Very free. I love his style and the way he attacks the instrument. I've got a lot of his CDs. Henry Rollins, who turned me on to this guy years ago. He showed some CDs in a What's in My Bag, like one of the first What's in My Bag videos that Amoeba did fucking forever ago. And I've got a few records where he plays on them, but not as a leader. This is, I think, the only one I have as a leader on vinyl. It has the original Obi. And Joe Analog Archive just found a copy too this year. Yeah, very, This one's not too crazy expensive. This one you can still get online. Yeah, very cool record from Japan. This is one that, you know, watching the VC is the best, because we have great people in the VC like Sherv, who always shows great records. And I'm pretty sure it was Sherv that showed this, the David Boykin Octet, Evidence of Life on Other Planets, Volume 1. And I immediately sought it out. Yeah, I think he played the whole record in a video is what it was, and I was blown away. This is on Thrill Jockey, of all labels, out of Chicago. Nicole Mitchell's on this on flute, Josh Abrams bass, Chad Taylor drums, early on in their careers. This is really good. It does have like I think Conundrum has a monk sound to it, if I recall. Yeah, recorded in 1998. Great record. Cheap heat. This is one that I have to thank Steve Carlson for. He went with Tice to the Denver Record Fair, and he does his flip videos, and so I saw all the records, and in the collector's bin I saw this record, and so I called the shop. I zoomed in on the sticker and I could tell what shop it was. I called the shop. They said, "We're sorry, we don't we still have the record, but it's in storage, and but we're gonna do a pop-up event this coming weekend, and we'll have that record there." And I said, "Well, that's great, but I live in Charlotte." So I let Carlson know about the event and that there was going to be a pop-up, and they had the record, and he said, "Yeah, if I have time, I'll swing by and I'll grab it for you," and he did. And I've since passed on my it's funny, he got it home and played it, and he liked it. He almost didn't want to send it to me, but I ended up sending him my reissue as a thank you. And that's this badass record, Pharaoh's The Awakening. And it's not a first press, but it's the next press from the original year. John Digital Gramophone also found a very nice, his is a pristine copy, I believe, this year as well. And this was a fantastic price, super cheap compared to what it goes for. Very, very pleased with this. And this, if you watch Needle Groove up in Montreal, his videos open with a song off the B-side from this. Just absolutely funky, badass. There's some elements of free jazz. There's elements of every kind of jazz in this. So good. It's a big group. Pharaoh's Awakening, or The Awakening. What's the label here? We'll show you the label. There you go. It's a beauty. Plays fantastic. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that Carlson went to the event. It was like a rock posters event in an alleyway in Denver. Very cool. And I think they had the Day of the Dead festival going on downtown too at the same time. So him and his wife had a good time. So next, I've got my WFMU finds. Got to include these as some of the best used that I found this year. The New Art Jazz Ensemble, Seeking, with John Carter and Bobby Bradford. This is a great one on Revelation Records out of Los Angeles. One of the first free jazz records ever in LA. This was a really great deal. Of course, the Gilberto Gil Espresso, 2222 or whatever it is. What's this on? Phonogram? I can't remember what label this is. This plays absolutely fantastic on one side. The other side, not so much. I had to get it cleaned. It's a little bit better. It sounded great in the apartment, though, when we played it. On Philips. Very happy to get this from WFMU Fair. Again, another top 3 or so record for me this year. This was one record on my list of 25, like, grail records, to use that crazy term we use. and that's Gene Lee Conspiracy on the Seeds label. This came from Joe at Basement Records, who had all the great records you could ever want to look at in your life. And I forgot to mention in my WFMU video, he had a box under the counter. The records weren't in the bins, they weren't on the wall. And I mean to tell you, there was some insane stuff on his wall and in his bins. He had a box of Al Sattards, and he let me go through them. The cheapest one was like $8.50. And then he had one with a hand-painted cover, and he didn't have a price on it, and I think he held up 5 fingers when I looked at him. I don't know, man. It was nuts. But he had this record, and he did give me, I think, $50 off, so I ended up getting it. It was a little on the higher end of things, but it's an absolutely pristine copy. And the thing that was very cool about this copy, which I did already show this in my WFMU video, is it has this like order form or list of new releases from 1975 and 1974 of, there's got a bunch of Strata East listed there. This probably was like a list at that time that a record store had for customers to look at, to order from, or something like that. Or maybe the prior owner made this list of records to seek out. I don't know the history exactly behind it, but it's very, very cool piece. That's one of the best finds of the year for me. Beautiful record, fantastic group. And then I also got this out of his bins, the Frank Lowe Orchestra, Lo and Behold. This on I think a private label, Music Works, out of New Jersey. Big group with Joseph Boyd, Butch Morris on cornet, Billy Bang on violin. There's Billy Bang again. Eugene Chadbourne on guitar. He's a wild one. Johnny Lindbergh bass. John Zorn's on alto on this. It's a big group. Peter Kuhn, very, very good. And then this came from the guy in Pittsburgh, Mind Cure. I couldn't believe these were still there. We were an hour late from open that first day. Bill Dixon, Seven-Tet, an original on Savoy. This was such a steal. And Archie Shepp and the New York Contemporary Fives on the B-side, which is one of the greatest groups ever assembled. Archie Shepp, John Chakai, Don Cherry, Ronnie Boykin, Sonny Murray, with Ted Kurson. And then I also got this from Mind Cure, another Grail record for me, Jennifer Laura's record on Studio One. This is a phenomenal reggae record, beautiful voice, great songs. Studio One presents Jennifer Laura, another one that was just a steal of a price. And then this I got at that fair too, off the wall from a real nice guy at a steal, Fear the Record. Yeah, like I talked about with the other Fear record. Great LA punk band. That's an original. Or no, this is not an original first. I think it's a second, but it was a good deal. This is one that came from Van, Secretary Funk, and his shop Decibel. It was on the wall. This is one that Dom got at WFMU from Basement Records. He got a minty copy. It was the biggest find of the day for him, I would say. Well, at least one of the biggest. But I got a steal on this record because it's got a bunch of water damage on the cover, and the record's VG minus, but I was happy to get it for the price I did. Brother Ah and the Sounds of Awareness, Key to Nowhere. It's an original. It presents really well, so I'm very, very pleased with this, and I can play it. It's got some surface noise. I've cleaned it a few times, but it's still, the surface noise is still there, but the music comes through. So I'm very, very happy to have, Robert Northern, an original. The others I have of his are all reissues. So, and late in the year here, I found this for a steal. Somebody didn't know what they had. The Roth, Rum, and Weiner. Their first record. This is a German original on the Hans-Jörg Meyer label from, I think, 1973. And the group name is in German, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it stands for Rarely Heard Music. This is a weird offering, but I dig it. It's a lot of strange vocals. I mean, if you like some of the weird vocals on Meredith Monk's records, you might get into this. I'm actually looking for the box, one of the box sets I've been looking for years, because I can't remember who it was. Diana, Digging in the Crate, talked about it, or back in the day, or might have been Ricarda a few years ago. But it's been on my want list. There's one of their box sets, from the one from Italy, I've been trying to get a hold of, but it's crazy expensive, and I just don't want to order a box set from overseas and have it arrive bashed. But anyway, that was a cool find. And then the most recent finds, this one came directly from the artist, Ascilla 80 from Peter Lemmer, private pressing. Yeah, Dom sent me a link to get this directly from the artist, and I got it for a steal compared to what it goes for online. And kind of out there stuff with African players doing different types of percussion and whatnot, and then him on this keyboard. Nothing like the ESP disc record, but I really dig this. Digging Sun Ra, you can get into this, I think. And then last but not least, from the Rochester dig, probably my biggest find was the first find of the day, off the wall at Record Archive, and that's a sealed mint original of Soundgarden, Ultra Mega OK from 1988, with my favorite Soundgarden song on it, Beyond the Wheel. 1 hour and 1 minute. Sorry this is so long, but those are the best finds I had this year as far as used. I'm omitting my 7 inches and 78s. I found some great stuff in both of those categories, but we'll save that for another time. Take care. Peace. All right, VC. So if you stuck with this whole video, just showed 69 finds on the year. I'm going to show you one more. Number 70. Yeah, the white whale, so to speak, of the lot. Because I got ill and missed day 2 of WFMU, I was sitting on a large budget, and this record had come up for sale prior to the fair in Sweden. I can't believe it was still there, and Lars sent it my way, and that's a 1968 original pressing on bird notes of Bengt Nordstrom Natural Music, the 8A8C version, of which there were only 50 pressed, to my knowledge. An incredible LP. The first, technically the first solo free jazz on this record on the B side. There is bass accompaniment on the A side. Very lyrical record. It's not that far out there. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like he's recording this in a room, especially on the B side, by himself. He's taking breaks to gather himself. You can hear him, doing his thing. It's a remarkable LP, and absolutely crucial to the future of jazz, especially in Sweden. Very influential record on Mats Gustafsson. He put out the box set of the Bird Note stuff, which I'd like to get, but it's a little pricey, probably $250 or so. But very, very pleased to be able to get this. It's absolutely mint copy. So that was my best find of the year. Hard to top. Hope you're well. Peace.